All right, hey y'all. The freedom movement is picking up speed and gaining progress, and I am so thrilled about what happened this week. So we live in South Lake Tahoe, which is kind of a small town. It grows with tourist season and stuff, but like the resident population is actually pretty small around here. And I wasn't sure if there was anyone else, on my page in this area. And I had met a group in Arizona, and they do like meetups and go to happy hours and go play top golf. And when I got back to Tahoe, I wanted to like start that up here, but I figured I'd probably be the only one sitting waiting at a restaurant for anyone to show up to talk about this stuff, because my friends, when I talk about it with them, just think I'm a little cuckoo. So I'm driving to work this week, and I like feel a truck coming up on my driver's side, and I feel someone looking at me. And so I look over and we make eye contact. I don't know him. So I go back to driving, but I notice he's kind of hanging back. He hung back at the light, and then I guess at some point he got in front of me. I don't remember that, but anyways, next thing you know, he's like waving me down like frantically. And so I roll down my window. And at first I think he's saying your brakes, your brakes. So I'm instantly like looking at my dash, looking in my rearview mirror because I have a bike on the back, and I'm like, what is he talking about? And then he yells even louder, your plates, your plates. Can you pull over, please? So we pull over, and he also has his 4-star passport. His lady has her 5-star passport. Sorry about that. I keep shaking the table. And so they had gone down to San Francisco to get theirs, but he clearly was like passionate about this the way I am. And he still had California plates on his truck. So he saw my diplomat plate in the back, but what really caught his eye was I have a civil peace flag on the front of my car, which is not this flag. This is actually the wartime flag. I bought this before I knew that. It's beautiful though. And I mean, this flag is still iconic, so I don't know that we'll ever like stop having that flag around. I do have stickers of that flag on my truck. If you aren't familiar with the civil peace flag, the stripes are actually vertical, and you can look it up. Look up the civil peace flag. It's different than this flag. So this gentleman saw the civil peace flag on the front plate of my truck, and he flies that in front of his house. So, and he told me, he was like, who else knows about this? Like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to this girl. So anyway, we connect, and he lets me know that there's at least like 8 other people in town that are all like changing their status and taking steps to live in the private rather than the public. So we are going to get together, connect and discuss where we're all at in the process, how we got there, how we can help others progress. And I mean, where I'm at is how can we grow this movement? Because the more people that we have on our sides, the more that law enforcement also gets educated, which I think is a big part of this process. Is so I had a phone meeting with someone in this freedom movement yesterday that I told him about our campfire thing, and that's when he said, oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I believe in the path of least resistance. So I believe in keeping your driver's license. I believe in keeping registration. I believe in keeping insurance. And I disagree. Once I learned about the motor vehicle theft prevention program, look it up. Just put that into Google. Cornell Law should come up, and read what that says, what that motor vehicle theft prevention program says, and what does it sound like? Does it sound like the DMV? Does it sound like your registration? And it clearly says voluntary. So we are voluntarily going in there, signing a contract, and paying them money to ask them to please pull us over so that they can verify that the person driving our vehicle is authorized. That's why they ask for your driver's license when they pull you over, which I want you to all look up driver look up the legal definition of driver. I think you can click on it if you look up the Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Program. I think it's a highlighted link. You can click on driver and it says commercial. So when you get pulled over and you give your passport card and they ask for a driver's license, you can say, I'm not driving. I am not driving. I'm not operating in a commercial capacity whatsoever. So why would I need a license for that? And then you can go further into, well, technically, I don't even qualify for a driver's license. It would be unlawful for me to go in and say that I'm a US citizen and say that I'm a resident, because I mean, look into what a resident means. They've been using legalese to trick us for many, many years. So I don't want to like convolute this video. I'm so excited to know that there is a growing community in our small area that I get to connect with and share with, and hopefully bring my husband in, because he's not totally on board with this. He watches First Amendment videos, but he's still wanting to stay in the public, but fight for his rights kind of thing. But if you really look into this, we've already signed away all our rights. So my husband knows this is a thing. When we went to the first post office, which was in Arizona, and they refused to process my application because I had a valid passport, by the way. And so I found the workaround around that when I got back to Nevada. I don't need a new passport. I just needed to apply for a new passport card. I believe the passport will be updated no matter what, but also for flying, I wasn't that worried about it. If I get to skip TSA, bonus. But anyway, when we were walking out of that first post office, a gentleman who was in there and overheard what I was asking waited for us outside the door. And he said to us, "Are you trying to correct your status?" I said, "Yes, I am." And so my husband at that point was like, "Oh, okay, like other people know about this. Other people are doing this. Okay, it's a thing." So now if I can show him Tahoe people doing it, maybe he'll actually submit his application and get his passport card. So anyway, so excited. If you have stories of finding other people in this freedom movement, please put it in the comments. And as always, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let's get more people on board and learn how to skirt all this UCC nonsense. Thank you.